Hello, everyone. Welcome to Creativity Hive's weekly program. My name is Miriam Haugen, and I am part of the Creativity Hive team. We help creatives learn to make impactful storytelling videos through one-on-one teaching, live group coaching, and live boot camps. And our weekly hangout brings you people usually working in motion media in some form, from across the globe. Today we're straying a little bit from that, but I am really looking forward to bringing on Dylan Evans. So I'm going to bring him on the screen here. Hello, Dylan.
Hello, Miriam. Thanks for having me.
And I have to tell everybody that we're on opposite sides of the globe. You're in Cape Town, right?
Yeah, Cape Town, South Africa.
Cool. Cool. So, and you are an e-learning specialist and serial entrepreneur, which I find just really fabulous. So, tell us about Beeline, which is your main online learning platform. What can you tell us
Yeah,
about that? What is it that Beeline does?
perfect. Thanks, Miriam. Yeah, so Beeline is an online learning platform, which is a single place to store all your learning resources in a way that optimizes learning and retention. So you can either store all your learning resources for yourself to learn things better for yourself, or to actually share it with others. And that's where it comes into the space of creatives putting together online learning programs and actually sharing it with others on a social learning platform, in a way that the end users can retain the information in the most optimum way.
Cool. So, um, how did you get to this point? Where did you come up with the idea for this?
Yeah, so my background, I came from 9 years in the education technology space, running an education training center, a workplace readiness skills training center, and that was an online academy and a physical academy. So I've been exposed to the online training space for like the last nine years or so. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends. He was deciding to go into a different area of work, and we were laying out the best possible direction for him moving forward. And we laid out all the top things he would want in his perfect career. And one of the job spaces that actually covered ticked all those boxes was an idea that one of our other friends was speaking about once, where he didn't know how to optimally share all these resources that he collected for actually learning how to dirt bike. One of his friends was a good dirt biker and like pulled together all these resources, but his friend didn't know how to share it with him optimally. So he put it all together on a Google document actually, and shared it with him like that, all the different videos and the notes of the videos. So we just thought there must be a better way to share learning resources with others. And me being in the space of education technology, I had a few sleepless nights of my mind just wondering in that space, like, how does a tool like this not exist? So we dove in about a year ago. It was that happened. That was just the conception of the idea. And yeah, since the beginning of this year, we've been building hard and actually launched the platform about a month ago.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm going to bring Neil on here too to say hello.
Awesome.
Hello, are you
Hello, I've my computer went completely audio freak this morning, so I've had to reboot and change a whole bunch of things. How am I? Do you hear me clean?
I hear you. You
Perfect.
sound good.
Okay, this has been bizarre.
Okay,
Okay,
well, that's fine. So, I am what else do I want to know? I think, okay, who are your customers? And are you worldwide? Are you focusing on South Africa right now?
Yeah, so we got a primary South Africa push at the moment, and
Mhm.
we're pushing up into Africa. So we're an Africa first product. I mean, you can use it all around the world. It is an online platform. You can
Right.
sign up right now and use it. But we're doing a specific Africa focus because there's a lot of needs in South Africa and Africa that aren't necessarily met by other learning platforms that we put specific attention to. So our main clients are organizations training their staff internally or organizations with external training initiatives. This is often NGOs with big training programs that they want to run, or training academies that have big groups of students. So it's a way that they can pull together their learning resources into a learning path that their students can optimally learn and retain that information.
Awesome. So I am also a little curious about how you found us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
were you actively looking for people that could teach specific things?
yeah, 100%. So I was actually chatting to Mo,
Uh-huh.
one of the producers here, and he's one of South Africa's top experts actually in the Adobe products and Adobe
Right.
range. And actually, for my other company, we run Adobe certification exams and training. And I was chatting to him about his knowledge in the space and being able to sort of build different learning programs. And we got into the discussion of Beeline because it's an optimum way for him, and he was excited about getting his learning out to his audience in a more effective manner. Right. Because as creatives, there's a hell of a lot of educational influences, is what we call them. I heard you had a different word for them earlier, but we call people sharing education online, educational influencers that are putting out amazing educational content, super useful, very valuable, and often freely available. But it's not necessarily curated into a learning path to learn whatever you need to learn. So it's a way where you can curate all those topics into a learning path for a specific subject or something you need to learn. And where it comes in with the creator side of things, on the platform there'll be a marketplace as well, where either creators can just put out their content in a more effective way, or put a cost to their content and monetize their knowledge sharing.
Okay, so it is so people can they can charge, but this is just a way of them getting that information out. That's basically what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I suppose a good point that I missed out there is it's a freemium platform, so any user can actually come on for free onto the platform and access the freely available content that is there on the platform. So myself, everything that I currently learn, I actually build into a learning path on the platform, so I can learn it more effectively myself. There's an algorithm working in the background with the science of learning. It uses spaced repetition algorithms that it actually learns what you know and what you don't know, and feeds you more of what you don't know to make sure you remember it over time in the best way. And memory is not something that I've been great with over the years, so I've adopted the platform very much in everything that I learn, and take all my notes on there. And it's a nice place where I store all those resources, and I can always come back to it at a different point of time. But the platform will make sure that I actually remember that information that I'm learning. So if it's from books, I mean, YouTube is my biggest source of education. So YouTube videos and podcasts that I listen to, I take all my notes and store the resources there. But then I can make it public on the platform. So for example, at the moment, I'm busy learning about Stoicism, practical philosophy. And I've made my Beeline that I've created, I made it public on the platform. So the Beeline is our name for a learning path. The name comes from your fastest way to get from point A to point B, beelining for the door, for example. And then I've shared that publicly on the platform. So now anyone there can follow my Beeline, make use of the same resources that I'm making use of, but also join into my learning community. So they are sharing learning resources with me. There's a social side to the platform, so it's almost like a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page, where like connected to every single Beeline, where people can discuss the different topics that are discussed, or the different cells, and actually share helpful resources with me, which is beneficial for me putting it out on the platform.
This is fascinating. So It sounds to me like this is a way of kind of curating. You know, YouTube is nice. I mean, I go there all the time when I want to learn something, but and I will, you know, subscribe to certain channels, or I'll save certain videos that I want to go back to, but it's all just a mess. There's no organization to it. What your platform does, am I right? It really just organizes everything. and there are algorithms that can, like you say, figure out what you need to learn or know next, or remember.
What you need to revise next. So the way memory works, like to effectively actually be able to pull things from memory, is not necessarily just rereading stuff. You actually remember things by pulling it from memory more often. So you need to start forgetting something to a specific point, and then you pull it from memory. That's like one repetition. And the more often you do that, the more you remember things over time. So the platform works out when you're starting to forget that information to a specific point, and then it gets you to revise that content with a flashcard or a multiple choice question or like a different question type, and then you revise it, and then depending on how you answer that question, it'll either show to you a week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe the next day if you're forgetting the content completely.
That is great. I am going to put up the web address so that people can, yes, there it is.
So for either if people are wanting to learn themselves and use the platform for that, great. But I know there's probably a lot of creatives that watch your podcast. So it's people that are wanting to actually build beelines, so build learning paths, curate content into a structured learning pathway. You can do that all completely for free on the platform and share it with others. The only cost that comes involved if you want to share it to specific groups and track the progress and performance of those groups. But if you're just sharing it publicly on the platform or using it for yourself, there's actually no cost involved there at all.
Wow, that is phenomenal. Okay. So now what all right. I have a just, kind of a question that I like to ask people is, do you have advice for people who are maybe just starting out in their career or whatever it might be, and or somebody that's making a career change? What would, if you were talking to somebody that was going, I need to make some changes in my life, don't know what to do, what would you tell them?
Yeah, well, I mean, coming from the space, I've been in the space of entrepreneurship my whole life, so I've actually never gone to a job interview before. But I've done a lot of interviewing of people, and yeah, I would say my main thing would be to find something that you love to do. I know it's quite a cliche, but I just see across the board when people really enjoy what they do, or can enjoy what they do, they might not enjoy it right now, but they can see themselves focusing in on that space and becoming good at it and more interested in that space, is to find a space that you can really see yourself in long term, and then just dive deep into it. So by actually, I mean, here in South Africa, a big thing is doing internships and actually experiencing the space firsthand. And I mean, that's the quickest learning curves that I've seen, is actually people just diving straight into a workplace. Also the space of online education, not to touch on online education.
Well,
but it's becoming more and more acceptable form of education, short courses, rather than long educational programs, like degree programs. Like actually being able to prove skills in the workplace, and very specific skills, is a lot more valuable and seen highly today as compared to a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when a degree program was the only thing that really mattered. So diving into a lot of different online courses is also a quick way to gain skills in very actually specific and niche topics.
I like the idea you've been talking about of a curated form of it, because one of my main areas of expertise is in color, and especially in Premiere Pro, doing anything color whether you're talking about Lumetri or using Red Giant's Magic Bullet or something. And when and I also am a contributing author over at mixinglight.com, a colorist's subscription site for teaching pro colorists how to work. And so I deal with colorists in Color and Resolve and Premiere and this kind of stuff all the time. And oh my gosh, you get out online, the total crud in the advice that is so often given as to how to handle color management, how to set up your cameras, how to do color correction. So much of it is, I just look at, having learned from some really knowledgeable people, you just look at this stuff and cringe because it's awful. And yet there's some really, really good stuff out there. And so it's helping people get to the good stuff that's part of the problem. And I don't know exactly how you do that, but your curated system sounds nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. And here in South Africa as well, a big problem is that people don't actually have that much access to technology and not that much skills on like using a computer and searching the internet. So actually like finding really worthwhile learning programs or online content, online educational content is not always that easy. And even when you do have the skills, there's just so much content out there. Like which content do you choose as the best content and in what order? So most people learning a topic, like if someone's diving deep into understanding color and how to use it in their work, they often go and actually curate their own learning path anyway. It takes quite a bit of time, but they'll see, okay, this is a good course that I should do first. Here's a little bit of extra content I should do. Maybe this is a project I should do after that, and just working their way through it. So they actually end up creating a learning path automatically. And if they can just make that learning path public, everyone else can benefit from getting from point A, which is not understanding coloring, to point B as being this level in that space. So yeah, jumping, it's an easy way to share that with others. And then on the platform, it works similarly to Airbnb in that way, is rating systems where you can find really good quality houses versus bad quality houses, like because your host has a rating and the house itself has a rating. So in the same way, our beelines have a rating. So all the people doing that beeline rate the beeline, they pollinate it, hence all the bee themes. And the creators themselves have a certain amount of pollen connected to them too. So you can see very quickly, oh, this is quite a high level creator with a beeline that's very high rated. A lot of people are doing it. This is a good learning path for me to jump into. And the nice thing is, over time, I can be doing this learning path and say, hey, you know what? I think it would be very worthwhile to actually bring this course in here and an extra couple of videos here and make some good notes here. And this is a good project to practice it and actually better that learning path. So there's that learning path 2.0 that others can actually benefit from. And that means the learning path will just get better and better and better, meaning that we curate better learning content that's out there.
Very, very cool. You're really onto something here, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so straying a little bit from what are you passionate about outside of work?
Yeah, so being in Cape Town, South Africa, we got amazing mountains all around us. So I love trail running, hiking, and I've actually just moved in next to the ocean. So I've been an ocean boy my whole life. So diving back into the surfing and free diving.
Where are you located now?
In just outside of Cape Town, in Muizenberg, Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah. So, and you are just it's just coming into spring for you guys.
Yeah. So it's actually a lovely time of the year, because when it comes into summer, it actually gets quite hot, but there's a lot of wind that comes. So from now till summertime, it's stunning weather. So we had one of those days today. Tough to be inside when the ocean's 5 minutes walk.
Yeah.
That's a rough life. That is a rough life.
Very tough.
Yeah. Mo has shared, of course, some both video and images of the Cape Town area, and it's it's absolutely gorgeous. around there. So that's really nice. We live about an hour from the ocean, so or just a bit more, and from a very rocky shoreline. Except we have a much colder shoreline than you would have. One doesn't go into the water here for very long without a dry suit on. Even the surfers will all have dry suits.
Surfing has really become more popular in Oregon, but you have to wear a wetsuit or a dry suit. It's just
year round. Yeah, year round, the water temperature off Oregon will be about 52 degrees on the shore. So if you're out there,
Fahrenheit, of course.
Yeah.
I always have to translate that for Mo. That is so fun. Awesome. Well, you need to come to Oregon sometime because we have great hiking and outdoor activities here too. So
mountains. Oh yeah.
You can come when it's wintertime there. You can come to Oregon and
snow-covered year-round mountains, real mountains. Big ones.
We got good mountains.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Well, that is any parting shots here. Anything that you want to highlight?
Well, I mean, just especially on the side of creators, people that are putting out really, really worthwhile learning content, so educational influencers, or just people that are avid online learners and learn from YouTube. Go use Beeline to create learning paths that you can share publicly on the platform and use for yourselves, obviously. But it's a great way to get your learning out there and bring people into your learning circles, and a great way to share learning with others. So excited to see more people on the platform and creating content on it.
That sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us and sharing about all of this. Time to say goodbye.
Awesome. Sayonara.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Miriam. Cheers. Bye-bye.